Hi, folks. This is Sid from 3-Minute Travel Tips and magicofmickey.com. Welcome to 3-Minute Travel Tips Live. 3-Minute Travel Tips Live is a roundtable discussion with travel professionals and industry bloggers. We're here to talk about vacation topics in a little more detail. Each 30-minute show will feature a segment where we dig a little bit deeper than our usual 3-minute format. Vacation planning doesn't have to be complicated. We're all about offering video content to help make your vacation experiences memorable. And today's topic is a good example. We're talking about how to use the Disability Access Program service at Walt Disney World Resort in Disneyland. And we've got the lowdown in 30 minutes or less. First up, I'd like to introduce our guest. Becki Whittaker is a travel professional and with Magic and Mickey Travel, and also serves as the internal media manager with the group. Becki, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well.
Excellent.
Trying to stay cool.
Trying to stay cool. I understand that's a little warmer where we are too. And another lady who's dealing with some heat as well is Myrna Litt. Myrna is based in Southern California, and she's considered to be one of Magic and Mickey Travel's best experts when it comes to Disneyland Resort. Myrna, I think you are facing some warm temperatures. Am I right about that?
Well, we're expecting 109 today, but it's a nice dry heat, so you don't sweat.
Well, it is. As they say, it's a little toasty. And finally, we have a first-time guest, and that is Kristen Brinkle. Kristen has been a travel professional for quite some time with Magic and Mickey Travel, and she's also knowledgeable about this topic because she has a special needs son. Kristen, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here. But before we get into our main topic, I'd like to chat a little bit about kind of the news and the details that are going on within the world of Disney. And I'm going to go to Becki about that. Becki, I understand that an update to a very popular attraction over at Epcot has recently opened up, or they put together, I guess, a new version, and that's the popular attraction Soarin'. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, the summer has really awakened over at Walt Disney World Resort. As you've alluded to, Soarin' has gone from soaring over California to soaring around the world. And I've heard reports that everybody is loving being able to see, various wonders around the world. And that was just the beginning of what's going on at Walt Disney World Resort. That opened up officially on Friday. Also on Friday at the Magic Kingdom was Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair. It's the new Castle Stage Show that replaced Dream Along with Mickey over the summer. So really excited to get over there and check on that. Over in Hollywood Studios, if you're a Star Wars fan, you don't want to miss this anytime soon. It's the Star Wars Galactic Spectacular. There's projection shows, fireworks, the huge Star Wars fanfare that you would expect Disney to be able to put on. Also over at Epcot, the long-awaited Frozen Ever After starts tomorrow, I believe is when that opens up. And that's the new Frozen ride that's replacing Maelstrom there in Norway. And the Royal Summer House is the new home for Princess Elsa, or Princess Anna and Queen Elsa over at Epcot with their meet and greet location. Other news, though, we've got, if you're looking for vacations to still book over the summer and into the fall, there are several room discounts available, as well as the free dining is still able to be booked through July 8th. So you don't want to wait too long before you get those rooms booked. But
gotta love that free food.
Absolutely, don't we all love free food? And availability for those is slim right now for the rooms, so don't delay on those. But the biggest news of all, well, I think it's one of the biggest news of all, is tomorrow, June 21st, the 2017 vacation packages for Walt Disney World opens up. So if you're looking for 2017 prices, let your travel agent know, and we will hook you up with those quotes.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I got to mention too that we've got a cruise coming up with connected up with Magic and Mickey Travel, and folks that are looking for maybe a September cruise on the Disney Dream should contact any of the agents with Magic and Mickey Travel, and they will hook you up with some wonderful opportunities. We've got a kind of a group event, if you will, kind of scheduled, and please contact your Magic and Mickey Travel agent for more details. Well, now we are to our point where we'd like to chat a little bit about our main topic. One of the reasons that Disney destinations are so popular is the effort that the company makes to provide an inclusive experience for all guests, regardless of their disabilities. Their goal is to create an enjoyable experience for any and all guests that come on property. Programs like this have been in place for many years. Well, unfortunately, the original program was subject to being abused a bit by some individuals who really didn't qualify for the service. And as such, the program has been tweaked, and now guests should now use a relatively new program called the Disability Access Service. This service is available at both Walt Disney World Resort as well as Disneyland Resort in California. And Becki, I'm going to go to you first. What is the Disability Access Service?
The Disability Access Service, also known as DAS or DAS, it is the opportunity where if a guest is unable to wait in a conventional queue line, they can go to guest relations and discuss with them what the issues are that surround that guest. And guest relations will be able to assist you to help make those queue line waits, more feasible for you and your family. The access is used again by one person in the family, or however many qualify within your group. You'll visit guest relations. They will do their assessments, and when they determine what your needs are, they will set your account up for you. And in order to do so, anyone traveling with your party will need to be present so that their magic bands or park tickets can be linked together as one party. And then you'll head off to the different attractions, and you can use this in conjunction with your fast passes. So you can set your 3 fast passes up throughout the day, and then you can have one return time with the DAS at a time. So once you go, say, to go visit Mickey Mouse over at Town Square Theater, you'll go over. Any person in your party can go get a return time, and then you'll come back at that time. The person who has the DAS linked to them will touch their magic band or their park tickets on those touch points, get the okay, then everyone else in the party that's coming along will touch their magic bands or park tickets, and off they go. And once they use that first one, they can go and get a second return time at another attraction.
So basically, this is a system that allows, and I'm going to make sure I'm characterizing it correctly, it allows the guests and their party to not necessarily wait in the standard queue line, but at the same time, it's not like a straight fast pass where you're avoiding the duration of the current wait time.
Correct. Yeah, with the DAS service, you will skip the conventional queue lines, and you'll get to, when you return, you'll go to the fast pass queue line. However, like you said, you won't necessarily get to go right in the line immediately. A lot of times you'll have, maybe just a 15-20 minute wait, but it could be longer than that depending on what the current wait times are for the attraction or meet and greets.
I see. Well, Kristen, I'm gonna toss it over to you a little bit. As a mom and as well as a travel expert with Magic and Mickey Travel, you're going to be familiar with a lot of the different scenarios that may face a guest in their traveling party. What would you say? I mean, where does it apply to a family when you're using this kind of service? Or where's a good example of why somebody might want to try it?
Thank you. Yes, I am a mom with a special needs child, so I have great experience with this service at Disney World. Anyone that's on the spectrum, it could be anything, and most of these disabilities are unseen, which also makes it kind of hard when you get to go in the line and people think, your child is normal because it doesn't see any outside disabilities such as like a cast or in a wheelchair and so forth. But what this pass service does is allows your family and that child to go through the queue at an easier pace. So I know from my experience, my child, he gets very flustered in a big group of if he has to wait in line, and certain sensory issues apply. If someone else is like got strong cologne on or so forth, perfume. It's just so many variables that make it hard for a special needs person to enjoy themselves. So with this, what this service does is allows you to go through the lines quicker, so it causes less meltdown time. The quicker you're in, the quicker you're out. You're not subject to like more issues or incidents. If another kid, won't make fun of you or so forth, those are also issues and so forth when you're dealing with a child on the spectrum, because other children don't understand why your child is doing things differently. And so this service works in so many different ways to help the families enjoy their time at Disney and not feel stressed because, oh my gosh, my child can't stand on that long line, we can't go. You can.
I think I'm following. Basically, and Kristen, correct me if I'm accurately characterizing this. Say you have a child. Say your party wants to ride I don't know, Space Mountain, or some attraction that may have, say, an hour and a half long queue, which sometimes that does happen because some of the attractions at Disney are very popular. And so in that queue, your party is going to have to be in an environment that really you can't control. So you're kind of faced with what's going on at that time, and because you can't necessarily control those surroundings, it could be upsetting for a child, or whatever the circumstances are. But by using this service, instead of waiting in the line in kind of a fixed pattern, you're actually able to maybe wait in another area where you're able to work with your child, or in a better surrounding that would allow that transition moment to occur much quicker and make it easier for them. Is that sounding right?
Exactly. You want to, with children on the spectrum, there's, you got high functioning all the way to low functioning, and anyone on that spectrum is needing assistance to help themselves enjoy their time at Disney. So many families feel that they can't, enjoy that time because they know, Disney's known for long lines and so forth, and they know their child wouldn't be able to handle that. So with this in place, it's a wonderful thing. When you go to guest services, you just let them know that your child is on the spectrum and that you would like the disability access service. And they don't ask you for any doctor's notes or anything because that is against the HIPAA Privacy Act. So a lot of people are also saying, oh, do I need to bring
some documentation?
Right, and you don't, because that is against the HIPAA Privacy Act.
I follow, and it's good to know that really it's a matter of just going in and chatting with the cast member at that time to kind of elaborate a little bit more about the circumstances involving the folks in your party. Myrna, let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about Disneyland. Now Disneyland has kind of a very similar program to what's going on at Walt Disney World. Can you characterize a little bit about how the system works for folks over in California?
Well, at the Disneyland Resort, you would initially check in either at guest relations at Disney California Adventure or guest relations at Disneyland. When you check in, you are required to have everyone in your party, up to 6 people, be present at the time of check-in. Once you've been approved, then they will scan everyone's ticket on the bar, I guess the scan bar. I don't know what you call that. And then once you've been approved and you've been given the scan, then you can go, they'll give you your initial attraction that you can go to. And then once you've finished going to that attraction, in each land at Disneyland, they will have a kiosk, and you will just go up there and schedule your next attraction that you want to use. And it's very similar also at Disney California Adventure. If you have the Disneyland app and you pull up special needs, it will show you where each kiosk is on that map. And it's very easy, it's very user-friendly to do.
Excellent.
The pass is also good for 14 days. So once you have that, if you're on vacation, you don't have to go through guest relations again. You just would go to the kiosk when you arrive at the park. So that eliminates checking in every time you go to the park.
As I understand it, and this may be true with both parks, it's possible that guests may be using a paper ticket, but especially when it comes to time and use over at Walt Disney World in particular, one application that can be very valuable is the My Disney Experience app. And so guests that have that on their phone, they're able to actually use some of those elements as well. Becki, can you share a little bit about the My Disney Experience app and how that kind of connects up with this system?
Yeah, with the My Disney Experience app, you can link your theme park tickets, your resort reservation. You can view your memory maker photos there, make dining reservations. It's all pretty much an all-inclusive app when you go on vacation. So when you are using this, these two systems together, the My Disney Experience and the DAS, then when you get those return times, you'll see those listed there with your FastPass returns as another, so basically it'll be listed like a FastPass.
So it's you'll actually see in your app window, you'll see it
Right.
where it lists that as an option in addition to say the traditional FastPass Plus information or other things. So there's really a lot of value if you are a guest visiting Walt Disney World Resort and you're in the parks to have that app on your phone. And Myrna, they've got something similar like that also at Disneyland, but they could also use maybe the paper ticket system. Can you describe a little of that?
When you have your paper ticket, it has a barcode on the bottom. So they'll scan that for everyone and they put it in the system. When you go to your attraction, they will have a scanner and it will scan each person as they enter, and it does have to be the person with the disability and their guests. So as you enter the queue line, they will scan that and then let you go on through. If you have up to 6 people, not all 6 have to ride that ride or attraction, but the person with the disability has to ride.
Excellent, excellent. And that's really just to make sure that the program's not being misused by folks and all of that. You're trying to make sure that it is a valuable program for those that really need the service. Kristen, before we shift gears a little bit, do you have any just some advice for families, for moms and dads who are bringing their families and they're looking to use this service? Any thoughts?
Yes. Well, what I tell my clients who book with me is to just take it step by step. Don't overthink it. You're there for your child. You're there to make special family memories. This service helps out greatly, so you have that as your plan. Then after that, I just tell my clients, don't stress over it. You're at the happiest place. Just go through Disney World looking through their eyes, because it's a whole new world out there, so to speak, for these children, because Disney just makes you, once you step foot on Main Street, your whole body takes over a new aspect, I feel, and my son too. My son watches Disney all day long on YouTube, and every time he has a meltdown, he goes, that's because he hates leaving Disney World. So that is our happy place. When we're there, we have less meltdowns as a family, and then we can actually enjoy ourselves so much there than considering, like, if we go to another area attraction and so forth. Disney just takes over him, and it's amazing what it does. And knowing that we have that service in place to help through the lines, and we don't have to worry about the long, long lines, that's a great feature. And just knowing that we're there as a family, it's wonderful. I do suggest, you do this when you go to Disney. You take your children, enjoy your time. Don't worry about if you're not going to get everything done. When we go, he loves trains so much. We ride that train quite a lot, and the monorail. But that's okay, because we're there, we're having fun, and it's all about them. If we can make their lives even a little bit happier, then it's all worth it.
Well, as an adult who's been visiting Walt Disney World Resort since the early 70s, I actually like going on the trains, and I actually like going on the monorails a lot too. So I think you're going to find a lot of folks who share that joy. Before we wrap up our segment, though, I probably should touch base a little bit further. Becki, if a guest is using a wheelchair or a mobility device, are they automatically just brought into the program? How does this system apply to guests with mobility challenges?
If it's a mobility challenge that requires a wheelchair or a scooter for their time in the parks, they are not automatically given the disability access service. They a lot of times are not given that because the queue lines at Walt Disney World, and for my short time when I was at Disneyland, I believe they're pretty much the same out there. Most of the queue lines are accessible by wheelchair and scooters. So if that's their main device or their main issue, they're not going to probably get that card. But if they have other issues on top of that, on top of the mobility issues, some of the cognitive or other issues that Kristen's alluded to, then they may get to. But again, it's all up to guest relations and on how they work with you and your family.
Well, in other words, it doesn't hurt to ask, and
Absolutely.
When you first join in and visit the parks, check in with guest relations, explain your circumstances with them, and see what advice that they would have. Well, I think this is a great topic to talk about, and it's an important one, and it's a good story that Disney has, and that they are trying to be inclusive and create a wonderful experience for any guest, regardless of their circumstances and where they're from. Well, before we wrap up the show, we always have something we call our tip of the day. And the tip of the day is just a short little tip. It doesn't have to be related specifically to our topic that we're discussing today, but it's meant to give you, the guest, just a short little tip that you can use when you visit Walt Disney World Resort. And Becki, I'm going to turn to you first. Becki, what is your tip of the day?
My tip of the day, it deals with the dining plan. If you're on the fence on whether or not you want the dining plan or not have the dining plan, but you know you're looking at maybe one table service and you know you're definitely going to go hang out with some of the characters, I always consider checking to that dining plan. The dining plan covers your character meals, and it's a good way to kind of knock two birds out with one stone, where you don't have to wait in line to meet the characters and wait and go eat as well. Take the time, go meet the characters while you're eating, and enjoy the afternoon and evenings riding other attractions and seeing the other shows.
Excellent, excellent. Myrna, what is your tip of the day?
Well, especially dealing with the disabilities, I strongly suggest that you use an authorized Disney travel professional. By using a travel professional, they can provide you with all the information available to you as to the rides, the disabilities that ride might affect, as far as lasers or sound or things like that. We do have a lot of printables that we can add to your package, so you can plan ahead and make your stay even more enjoyable.
Excellent advice. Talk to a professional because they're going to be able to offer insight. They're also going to be able to answer any customized questions that may deal with just your specific circumstances. And that's a
Exactly.
free resource as well. Kristen, what might be your tip of the day?
My tip of the day is for families out there who have autistic children, don't not think you can go to Disney. Disney and autism is a beautiful friendship, and it is a wonderful place to be with your children. Don't let the disability scare you into not enjoying your family time. Uh, and if you need any more information on this, we will be probably having another 3-minute travel tip on that lovely subject. And if you
That's
have any questions at all, you feel free to call any of our travel professionals at Magic of Mickey Travel.
That's exactly right. Kristen nailed it. We are going to talk about, hopefully, the story about Disney and autism. So if once the segment is available, we'll try to put a link here in our Hangout for those to do it. But I do think it's definitely worthwhile to have a deep dive in that topic together. And we'll bring Kristen and several different experts in that talk about the subject. Well, my tip of the day has to do if you are a day guest and you've rented a wheelchair from Disney, say at one of the parks. You may actually be able to use that wheelchair or borrow a wheelchair when you leave at the end of the day. A lot of times you'll typically return your scooter or your wheelchair at the park where you rented it. Well, check with those cast members when you're about ready to leave and ask them if it would be okay to take that wheelchair all the way out to the parking lot where your vehicle is parked. Quite often they will allow guests to do that, and they don't allow it so much with electric scooters, but do check with a cast member because that might save you a few steps, make your transition back to your car a little bit easier. Well, I would like to thank the ladies for joining us today. Becki, what would be the best way for folks to reach out to you if they wanted to contact you?
The best way to reach me is through my email. It's Becki, B-E-C-K-I, at magicofmickey.com.
Excellent. And Myrna, if folks wanted to reach out to you, talk about Disneyland or really any Disney topic, what's the best way they can contact you?
They can reach me at Myrna, M-Y-R-N-A, at magicofmickey.com, and they can also look at my Facebook page, Myrna Litt, Magic of Mickey Travel.
Excellent. And Kristen, what's the best way folks can reach out to you?
My email is Kristen at magicofmickey.com, or my texting is an easy way, 423-544-3081. I'm always available. Like with a special needs child, they don't like sleeping much.
Well, ladies, thank you for joining us, and I'd like to thank you, the audience, for tuning in. But that is it, in 30 minutes or less. For all your Disney travel needs, reach out to any of the Dream Makers at Magic of Mickey Travel. And for more travel tips, please subscribe below or check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. And you can also reach us at our blog website, 3minutetraveltips.com. Thanks for watching.